So now this famous equation has become kind of our anchor. So just to repeat, the equation is experience equal to
consciousness plus
content. Consciousness is Atma, self and everything. And our mission is to know thyself. That means to know ourselves. So we are asking, who am I? So in the last many weeks, we have seen good reasons to reject I am the body, I am the personality, and so on. From a scientific perspective, this hard problem of consciousness and all those things. So today we will do something from the Indian scriptures as to how they think to capture this Atma. So that we have this experience is Atma or self plus content. So this text is called Drig Drishya Viveka. That means the difference. Viveka means discrimination between the seer and the seen. This book is like attributed to, I don't know, there is not a clear indication of who is the author, but it's been attributed to somebody called Bharati Tirtha, who was the 14th century Sankaracharya of Sringeri Mutt. I'm just telling this to give some credits. And then, but some people say, oh, no, it was not him, but it was Vidyaranya Swami, who is this author of Panchadashi. And yet others think it is Adi Shankaracharya. Whenever you don't know who it is, you just put it to Adi Shankaracharya. So I just want to clarify this thing. But the book itself, the content, we are more interested in the content rather than who wrote it and all those things. So the way this book, what it says is to discriminate between the seer and the seen. So in our equation, discriminate or distinguish between the Atma and the content. Atma is the seer, content is the seen. So this is our ultimate aim. So that means I just want to bring it in that direction. So the first step they do is the normal objects, like the book, sun. All of these are seen. And who is the seer?
Atma.
Me. Whatever that self is, I am the seer. This is very easy to understand. This is normal common sense. Whatever is external is the seen, and then you are the seer. One important thing to note here is you need to stand a little bit outside to see the seen. That means the seer has to be distinct from the seen. So this part is very clear. External objects, the book is the seen, I am the seer.
So you have to picture your body, mind, intellect also as a scene in the context.
Correct. So that's where we are going. So now all of us are pretty much in the zone. So you already told what we are going to do. So that first step is external objects, me. Very easy. So I is the seer, the book is the seen. This is very easy. Second is, what about the I? Is the I the seer or is the mind the seer? The second step in this thing is the mind is the seer and the eyes is the seen.
I is the seen.
Seen. First step is eyes is the seer, the book is the seen. This is the common sense, very easy. But you can actually in your mind see the eyes. So mind is the seer, and by mind I mean mind, intellect, all of these things. So it is something which you know, at least in the mirror. even if not directly seeing the eyes, at least in the mind, in the mirror, who is seeing the
I think more
eyes?
than the mirror, if you close the eyes, you know you don't see anything out. So
Yeah, so you see the eyes in some sense. The mind can know that the eyes is the seen and the mind is the seer. So that means you have stepped one step back. Then now the third step. What is the mind? Mind is thoughts, memories, and so on. So, but can we know our memories? Know in the sense of, is the memory knowable? What did you eat for breakfast yesterday? And so you might have forgotten, but what did you eat for dinner yesterday? You can know. It's a thought. 2 plus 2 equal to 4 is it's a concept or a thought. Known. Then, so who is the knower here? Between this knower and the known. So if the thoughts or the mind is known, who is the knower?
Someone behind the thoughts.
Sometimes some people will say, oh yeah, I mean, of course there is the thought 2 plus 2 equal to 4, the Pythagoras theorem, the thought of that, or the thought of memories of my childhood. All of this is known, but the one which knows it is the intellect. I mean, some people will say that that's the modern, so intelligence is the ultimate. So who are you? I am the intelligence which knows all of this.
Or I can also say it is the memory that knows it. Because if I make a construct that my intelligence is my memory plus the ability to think and discern. So
Yeah, wait. You put a lot of things in there. So you say that the memory is the knower.
Yeah, my memory is a knower.
So pick any memory.
No, okay. Oh yeah, okay. When I say my memory, I'm saying I'm putting it all together. So I'm not restricting memory to an instance of something that I remember.
All your memories.
Yeah, all my memories can only exist and be interpreted if I can club them together with, let's say, my memory plus my intellect and my ability to discern.
Yes.
Difference.
So so here we are trying to tease it apart and see which is the knower. So you said, okay, you put 3 things: memories, ability to discern,
and
intellect. So intellect and ability to discern is about the same?
I think intelligence is our ability to learn, and ability to discern I think is beyond our ability to learn.
Yeah. So are all of these the ability to learn, ability to discern, memories, the bunch of memories. The bunch of memories cannot be the knower, right? The fact that I ate chocolate yesterday evening cannot be the knower. That's just a memory. It's a thought. That's not the knower. That's a known. What about ability to discern? Oh, this is right, this is wrong.
but what does that have to do with memory per se?
No. I'm just first remove the memory as the knower.
Okay.
So now we are looking at the intellect. We already come to the intellect. The ability to discern, ability to learn. Is that known? or a knower?
It's a skill. It's just
Skill. We are using one word to substitute for the other. We said ability to learn, ability to discern, skill. But all of this, is that belongs to the content or does it belong to the knower?
It's content.
I think it's all content.
Content.
It's all content.
It's all
So this is the part which is very subtle. It's very easy to say, okay, external objects, no problem. Mind meaning memories, intellect, ability to learn, all of this. Memories is easy to know because memories cannot be the knower. Ability to discern, it's just an ability. You still know that whether you have that ability or not. Right? You know that, I don't know, probably a dog will not be able to solve the Pythagoras theorem. It probably will not be able to, but you have that ability. But so it is still a content. But we know that content is there. Right? So this is so what is it that knows? So this is what we are trying to, in the Drishya Vivek, the author, whoever it is, takes us slowly from all the content to the knower. I mean, anything which you can point and say this, that cannot be the knower. So similar, whatever we said for the eyes is true for our skin, for our hands, legs, body, heart, brain. None of this can be the knower in itself. So the knower is the consciousness of the.
So another way of putting it is the knower cannot be an object.
Yes.
The knower is always the subject.
Correct. And a subject, not in the sense of a body mind.
Body mind,
The body mind is also an object.
It's all the body mind is also an object.
Yes.
So I'm saying that from the point of okay, let's leave it to just making the statement that it can never be an object.
Yes, it can never be an object. That's the right thing. And the reason why I just brought up the body mind is because most of the time people will say, oh, subject means this body mind. But here we are trying to say that what you think as the body mind is also an object. And we said, body, mind is thoughts, the emotions, everything. These cannot be the knower.
So that is a good learning. If anything can be termed as an object, it's not the.
Anything that you can point and say this.
It's not the knower.
Then it's not a knower. But are we here? Is the knower there or not? Right now. There is a knower. So that's what we want to account for. So that's the Atma. In the equation, the self plus objects. The self is what we want to account for. And it is there. Every moment. Or it is the basis of everything. So this is the underlying message of Vedanta.
Now a question.
Yes.
Now, we actually see like we accounted for memories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we said it's part of the object, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is something seen, and ability also we said it is not. It's just an ability, right?
Yeah, it is there or it is not there. You will be able to know whether that ability is there or that ability is not there.
Correct.
So you can.
Correct. Now, whose memories is it? Whose ability is it? Is it the Atma's ability? Or is it the Atma is just the knower? If you say Atma's ability, then you actually are making Atma a part of the objects. I mean, then you are assuming that that also belongs to. It cannot be Atma's ability. It is
Atma's. So Atma in this sense is the knower's ability.
The knower's ability.
You will never be able to say oh, the knower is this.
Yeah.
See, that's the mystery of the whole thing.
Huh.
How the knower is able to, for example, this is the biggest mystery. We are not able to connect the knower with the objects. The knower is there, but we all function. The knower is there. There is memory. There is all this. So we are like, think we are some entity that has all these capabilities. We have an intellect. We are able to discern. We are able to have a memory. We are able to have all of these things. But without the Atman, that doesn't exist. It's a dead thing.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Somehow that Atman, it's like electricity. It lights up the entity that can function with all these abilities. That's the way I look at it.
Correct.
Right?
It is like electricity.
It is like electricity.
But the electricity is also like a, in the analogy,
Oh,
it is
different
correct.
analogy point.
But if you look at, it's not that we don't know the Atma, because you're there.
Yeah.
We know that we exist. So, but we cannot account for who we are. Based on all these memories, thoughts, abilities, all of these are external, but we are still there.
Yeah. So,
Actually, I can explain that. Like, you got the brain, you got neurons, you got all of this. So physics and biology can explain how these things work. That there are chemical reactions, there are pulses that go from one to the other, and that's how this entire our being functions. So
Yeah,
therefore-
well, one second.
Yeah.
I would like to push back on that. When you say that the neurons are there, and then the neurons are firing, and then that kind of results in memories.
Yeah.
It can result in a ability.
Ability.
But does that result in the Atma?
No.
No, right? Yeah.
No, not at all. Atma is that's what we are saying, we are trying to distinguish. Because, see, either it is that or it's not that. So what we are doing this exercise now is, we are taking up all these things, memory, we are taking up, the ability to discern, all of these things, and saying, are they Atma or something? We are saying we are not. So if it's not, it's not.
I just only wanted to clarify this part that we really don't know. We don't know how the brain produces all this.
Yeah. That is what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
there is a mystery somewhere there. We come to a wall there.
Correct.
We know they are not the Atma. We know I exist. We don't know how the connection is between the Atman and this functioning body. And
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
put it beautifully, yes. That is the thing. So the brain perhaps can explain everything except the idea that, you are there.
You
That
are
one
there.
is not explainable by
It's not
the brain.
That's what I'm saying.
That is this hard problem of
Consciousness.
Okay.
history of Shankaracharya, it is mentioned that he moves from his own body to another body to learn. When he was debating Mandana Mishra, he was actually moved to understand what is it to be a family man. How is because he had never experienced being a family
From that
man.
perspective,
Yeah,
yes.
so he moves into another body and learns. So, what is it that it's very hard to say that it is a spark that moves from your body to another body and lights up that body and actually goes through the body mind intellect experience of
That other body.
that other construct of body mind intellect, and then moves back to your body with the learnings. So whose ability, learnings, memory is it?
So usually, this one is a.
But I
Little-
think that
yeah.
actually makes it very clear.
That
Like
none of this is-
consciousness is away from all this.
Correct.
Yeah.
So from that you can make that
Yeah.
conclusion. But I just only want to make one general disclaimer. This thing about moving from one body to the other, all of this can neither be proven nor be disproven. So this is, it is maybe possible, may not be possible, and we don't know when such stories are said whether they are meant as a story or an analogy to explain to us these ideas, or whether this is literally true that something moved from one body to another body. So this one we don't need to say that is true or that is false. There are many people who believe in rebirth, some people who don't, but that's not the point. It doesn't matter. Regardless, the
We
point
know the
is
distinction. We know the
this is a logical fact that there is the knower and the known.
Yeah.
Whether the knower sees from this perspective or from your perspective or from Vishji's perspective is the same knower. That's what we are Advaita Vedanta is telling. Whether these are separate perspectives or these are separate. Last week we saw that these cannot be separate souls, because if it's a separate soul, then there has to be something to distinguish soul A from soul B. But if there is something to distinguish, then that belongs to the content. You see, let's take my soul and Vishji's soul. If we say that there is something which distinguishes the two, that thing will become a seen. That's no longer the seer. So there's nothing to distinguish at
The
the
only
soul
other
level.
mystery which we keep struggling with is that when the soul, which is supposed to be the same for everyone, is bound. So taking the same example of how he got into a householder's body, and then he had to, because of criticism that he does not know how a householder lives. So he took the form of that body to understand how a householder lives. But then the story goes on to say that he became bound by that body, and his disciples had to come, and because they could not release him, they had to wake him up from that and saying,
You are not this guy, you are Shankara.
Yeah, Shankara. So he had to come back. So you see, like you said, it's very, but it comes back to that same mystery: is what is the connection between the soul and the body,
Yes.
and how the soul lights up the body. We really don't know.
Correct. So this is the
We should just leave, because only an enlightened person, I think, maybe be able to
Correct.
say this.
But we can be sure that there is the Atma or the self which is lighting it up.
Light.
Because it is there, we know it. And we cannot account for it in any other way.
Yeah.
So that is the main point that we want to cover here. But then, last week, can you just pause for a moment? So where was I?
You said you were referring to
Last week, Vishji asked this very interesting question. Okay, we have the universal soul and you have the content. So what? Right? That was the question. So how does it matter to us? So then comes the second part of the book. Be happy.
Be happy.
So there has to be some connection between not making the mistake of I am the body and mind and our happiness. Otherwise it's no use. I mean, so in Vedanta the main idea is the biggest problem is ignorance and the solution is knowledge of the self. Ignorance means not ignorant about mathematics or science or who is playing in what movie. All that is no problem. Ignorance is ignorance of ourself is the problem, and the solution is knowing ourselves. So what's the point of what's the point of knowing this? So that's the question which comes up. And okay, let's read this in page 61. Who wants to read? You can read page 61. There's living from the perspective of the universal witness.
Living from the perspective of the universal witness.
Bit louder. Okay.
From the perspective of the witness, we can appreciate each story without being defined by it. Whether the contents of the book of you tell of joy, sadness, gain, or loss, you can observe these experiences as passing scenes within a larger narrative.
1 second. So, you remember this book of you? What I just meant is, like in last week we had given each person a book. Like we had this analogy of being a reader in the library. That means each one was reading a book of themselves. The book contains all their stories from their childhood until now, and everything updated on a real-time basis. And then in the analogy, the idea was to say that, oh, you are not the character in the book, but you are the reader in the library of books. So each one of us have our own book, and we think that we are the character in the book. But Vedanta says, oh, you are not the character in the book, but you are the reader. So that's what that sentence about the book of you means. Yeah.
So whether this book of you tells of joy, sadness, gain, or loss, you can observe these experiences as passing scenes within a larger narrative, while remaining anchored in the awareness that you are not bound by any single story. This understanding brings a profound sense of peace and inner freedom. The vast library of life becomes a realm to explore and enjoy, while you, the reader, remain blissfully aware that beyond all stories, you are the consciousness illuminating each page.
Nice. Thanks. So, the point is this. We have to go back to the question, where do all our so-called problems come from? Content. Number one is this content. It cannot be the Atma. It has to be the content. Even within the content, are we worried about external things, like beyond this room or beyond Singapore? Of course, we are concerned about what's happening in Ukraine or in Gaza and all those things. But
does it affect our happiness?
Directly, does it affect us so much? No, because that's content which is happening. Of course, we need to care about it,
That's
contribute,
distant.
help in whatever way you can. That's fine. But it doesn't seem to.
It's happening somewhere away, distant,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
But there are some
so
people
much
who
to
get
us.
very much affected by it. But in general, by and large, people, there are so many kids dying of malaria in Africa. I'm not telling we should treat it carelessly, but it doesn't seem to affect us so much. So where does our happiness fluctuate? It has got something to do with me, myself, and I. I, me, myself. This is how many teachers say. It's my career, a little bit. Some problem is also a big problem. Gaza is okay, Gaza. Or any little illness to us, a huge thing. So that is, where does that come from? We are identified with what when we say attachment, let's say attachment, but what does it actually mean? We think that is us. Or if it's your own family, you kind of expanded your identity to include your family. Or when we are watching football, fortunately India is not playing or Singapore is not playing, so there is nothing to identify. So we can watch the game freely. It doesn't really so much matter who wins. But say you're watching Cricket World Cup and India is playing in the final. More than how beautifully the game is going on, you're more interested in the opponent getting out. It's no longer about the beauty of the game. It's about Because why? You identified. So this identity is what is the source of all these problems. So now go back to this, our Drig Drishya Viveka, seer and the seen. So if you say that everything else is content, including our body, mind, our children's body, mind, and so on. This, we are trying to break the identification with the content. The idea is not telling you shouldn't care for your body or for your children. I just want to say that it's not you. So all our unhappiness comes from thinking that is you. Any
No,
thoughts?
absolutely. This is Vedanta. No?
That's
That's what it is.
it's a very deep way of
What is
detaching
that glue
yourself.
which makes us so? There is some glue, which kind of.
No, so we know that we exist.
No, we know we exist, and when theoretically explained, we understand it.
Yeah.
But again, the minute this stops,
Identification with.
there is a very strong.
All of us have that issue. I'm not telling you it's not.
Of course.
We all.
We
But
all
it's just that the
Very
idea is to
strong.
understand this, and doing all this meditation and so on is to try to make it a bit
Distant.
distance.
Yeah, see, we always use the word we think or we identify. So that word identify, what does it actually mean? I, me, mine becomes the primary this thing. Somehow we are able to, this system that we have, okay, let us say it's a more complicated robot that has been created by God, we are functioning. How does this robot, it's supposed to function in a particular way and do this, but it's supposed to be it's just supposed to be completely agnostic to anything that goes on outside, treats everything the same. That is what is the
Ideal situation.
Ideal situation. But how do we attach ourselves to things which is, this is mine. So we see, even natural processes, if your child is born, I think it's also the environment also. Oh, you got a son, your son. It goes in and then it solidifies there as mine.
As though that is a fact.
As though that is a fact.
The one thing I can say one more step is we attribute happiness to those things.
To those.
So if we think that car is something, we attribute that I am owning that car means you are getting happiness from that object. Car I use because it's at least a little bit away, but what about our kids?
Exactly. Car, I think we have all risen a little beyond that.
Yeah. What about our kids?
Kids.
We think that they are the source of happiness. I'm not using it in a callous way. I will explain what that means. What Vedanta wants to tell is the source of happiness is the Atma. Like you have in our equation, Atma and content. Vedanta wants to tell you that the source of all happiness is the Atma, and content is content. That is not. It can be an enabler of us to look at the Atma, but that itself, by itself, is not going to be the source of happiness. So the thing about not being attached is not like being like a zombie. It's not like not having emotions. It's not, oh, I don't care about anything. It's more by recognizing that, oh, everything that is valuable is in the Atma. That's what I want. and all the other things, like including our bodies, our kids' bodies, the things are all enabling us to get that happiness in some sense. But the happiness lies in the thing.
See, I'll give an example. And Vedanta always tries to give examples. We don't read those examples or try to understand them well enough. We say, like for example, opening a jackfruit, this thing. Why do they use oil? Because that jackfruit, see, why are you opening the jackfruit in the first place? You want to eat the jackfruit. It's delicious and tasty. If it's nice and ripe, you'll love it. But you don't want the jackfruit to stick to your hands all the time and create that issue for you. What do? You
put some oil.
Put some oil. Then you open the jackfruit, you eat it, the oil, and then it goes in. So can we use that something like the oil? You enjoy your children, you enjoy your this thing. Is there an oil that you can have that you can enjoy them in a detached way? That is the mystery of how you can do it.
And there's another analogy from Vedanta. I don't know. I heard it from Swami Sarvapriyananda. It's about a dog and a bone. We have spoken about this a few weeks ago. There is a dog. It has a bone. The bone is dry. There's nothing in the bone. The dog goes and gnaws at the bone, finds it tasty, then it digs up a hole, saves it, goes and comes back next day, gnaws at the bone, tasty. How is it tasting it? Why does it find it tasty? Because when the dog gnaws at the bone, its own blood is coming off because it's so dry, and then it thinks it is tasty. So such similar analogy for when we think that our kids are bringing us happiness. What do we mean by our kids? Kids are Atma. If you are the Atma, they are also the Atma. So if you only attach to their form and name, it's like the dog gnawing on the bone. The real essence is the Atma in them is what is there. So this is the idea it is trying to be conveyed.
But mistakenly we think that, it's the other things in the kids which are giving us happiness. Their achievements, their behavior,
Correct.
We don't.
But ultimately it is what gives us coming from the Atma. I mean, whether it is, there is no two Atmas there and this. All the source of happiness and joy is the Atma. So this is the most clear thing we need to get. Once we get very clear on this, then we know, in the bhakti path, what do we want? We want God. Regardless of everything. We don't want anything else, I want only God. Right? That is the bhakti path. What do you mean by God? We are meaning that is the Saguna Brahman, the Atma. You want that and not anything else. In Advaita, they will go for, they're calling it as consciousness or the self. It means the same thing.
So, are you saying that for me to be happy, I have to see everything around myself as experiences only? Content only. So, my content, and there is nothing like my content. So it is just content. Whatever is my assumption as my content and your content, their content, is all just content.
Yes.
So if I am happy with what happens to this body, mind, intellect, I should be able to experience the same happiness when I see.
Yes. When I enjoy a meal.
Yeah. If you enjoy a meal, I should be able to see you and I should be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
In some sense, yeah. Because it's not that I don't have, you have.
Yeah, so it's not limited to my body, mind, intellect. it's extended to everybody might interact.
Yes.
For that matter, if my child does something very well, it's because I've associated myself with it. It should be the same thing as your child doing very well. So it's just content. So if something bad is happening somewhere, it's again
Content,
should
yeah.
not be. It should just content. It should not be associated with me. So there is only then in that sense there is content. There is good and bad content outside.
Good and bad content
Prabhuji,
is.
you know, I do know of a few people. I don't know about the food, eating, he eating food and I eating that I don't know. But I do know of a couple of people maybe who do have a kind of a detachment towards their own kids and they're as happy for your kids doing well as they are for their own kids. I mean, Guruji, I've heard that you know, he does feel the same kind of happiness if you do well. Then
So that's why they recommend doing seva, feeding people and all of this. Then you get into the habit and saying, if they are eating, I'm still happy. If my children are eating, then so the content exactly. It's a very good point you have raised. That you start detaching yourself. This is not my content. This is everybody's content.
Yeah.
Somehow
So there's
if
only
you're able-
content.
There's only
So
content. It doesn't
there's
belong
nothing-
to anybody. So if,
Okay.
if that is the case, then you're already on the path for because Atma is beyond know is universal Atma.
See,
if
that-
content can be the same, then you are really progressing towards
happiness.
But for me, it raises another question. So it's like if I am thinking that so if I'm associating happiness, if I am happy, again it is content. Happiness or sadness is again content. It's
No.
state of mind, right?
Correct. Okay. So this is like the opposite. Okay, here I want to make one point. Then we will continue it next week. We can start with this question. The opposite of sadness is not happiness. The point which we want to say is happiness is who you are. This unlimited
state.
Atma.
We are talking
It's-
about the
it's
absolute happiness.
Absolute happiness.
Absolute.
In that you can have excitement. Oh, my kid won this tournament. You can be excitement. That is a single thing. But the happiness we are talking about is this,
Base.
the base feeling of everything is good. Nothing needs to be
Change.
changed. It is
They
good
call
as
it
it
bliss.
is.
So that bliss is there, which is no opposite.
Yeah, you see, you think about it like a baseline, okay? Now, we discussed this many sessions ago. Now, if we are happy, let's say we are up. If we are sad, let's say we are down. So it's like...
No, you're already making a statement there. You say, oh, there is a base, which is, say, 0, and then happy is 10, sad is minus 10.
Yeah.
But my point is, there is no 0 here. Happiness is 10.
Happiness is... 10.
The base happiness is already 10. That's the Brahmananda, in which you can have a temporary excitement, some content,
A wave.
a little wave, which can go, which looks like going up and which looks like going down.
So, it
But
is-
both are part of the content. But we want to stay in the
Beyond the content.
Yeah.
This is- Bliss
So
is
if,
beyond the content.
if bliss is beyond the content, then this bliss is nothing like the happiness we know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
this is not.
No, we mistake it.
Yeah.
We are
This is-
getting confused.
So it's like even in the best of situations that we have been, say even in the ultimate bhakti that we have been,
Yeah.
is
We may have got a
We have
glimpse.
glimpsed. We have glimpsed.
get a
No, we-
glimpse.
yeah, so there, are we really happy or is it peace or I don't know. I mean, I think we cannot
you cannot
explain
define
that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like say in bhakti, full surrender, that is
Maybe that
happiness.
is-
That is bliss in itself.
That-
There you don't want anything. You
Yeah.
don't want the God to give you more money or anything like that. So
Yeah.
that is like a little
Yeah.
drama in the Atma.
So that is the ultimate experience of bliss.
Yes.
So that is the closest we have come to bliss.
Yes.
So it's nothing like the happiness or the sadness, and even for that matter, when we observe everything else as content, including our BMI, every other BMI context, everything. So it's actually not. So we actually are observing everything, and we are affected by whatever is happening outside, but we are experiencing happiness, sadness, different levels by observing everything else.
Correct.
Yeah. So by getting to this stage, we are saying that we are now closer to thinking that we are closer to Atma, identifying
Yes.
ourselves with Atma. Now, from that state to be not affected by the content is the next thing.
Correct. I mean, it's already will be a huge thing for us to know that we are the Atma, and let's say more than 50% of the time we can deal with life from that perspective is already a big deal.
The beginning itself, that can I be not affected by great events that can cause normal people bliss, extreme happiness, or an extreme bad situation? How do I handle that situation? So this only can come through experience. How do I handle situations, especially extreme situations? They're all coming from the content. How in those moments I am able to step back and say this is only content and I should not be affected by it. That is the challenge.
That's what, if we can distance ourselves,
Yeah.
that is the thing. You started with that, right? So you, for that matter, see yourself as separate from your BMI. So make yourself an observer of your own self, sitting in this room discussing like this, and you are somewhere there and you are observing whatever is
You
happening.
have to bring yourself
Yeah.
back, Sometimes you can see getting yourself entangled into certain situations. So, and then places like this, we have discussed it, remind yourself that this is also an option. You can step back a bit from the whole messy thing.
And it is so subtle, really. You'll suddenly say, today I saw on the thing, there is some new fund that has come up and they're saying they're getting good returns. You'll tell me that. I'll go back and do this thing. It creates chain reaction. Then I'll look, should I invest in this? Where should I look? It's a kind of, you get into web and web of activity.
Why that? This Manu's wedding itself, we could see ourselves
Getting
completely sucked in by the whole thing,
Yeah.
I mean, nothing
Even now we
wrong.
realize that it was over the
Nothing
top.
wrong, but I was not comfortable.
Yeah. So this is the but actually today our whole session has been very good. It's like the meditation, because even though we discussed, we did not do the Drishya Viveka in a theoretical sense. We actually did it in experiential way.
Yeah.
Right? Because everything which we were telling, we were trying to check in our experience real time. It's not some theory, some concept, I am not my body, I am not my mind. We were checking it real time. So this is actually one of the Vedantic meditations is Drishya Viveka. Whole session today I will consider it as a meditation.
Because, for example, they had hired this entire theater with all this thing and everybody was in the hall. It was a huge place, everybody dressed up and dancing. And so, you just stand there and then you look at all this and think, what? This is Maya? If this is not Maya, there's nothing.
What else is Maya?
It was so clear that this is all made up.
Made up.
Yeah.
You can easily jump into it. It's my
It was
son.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was, at one level it was fun because it was new, the concept was great, the kids were enjoying. So that was giving us happiness.
But the positive thing, Jyoti, is that we came back detached from it. I think there's something that, we're not thinking of that, this event happened, that. I don't think about it anymore.
Yeah.
There was, it all happened, and then we came back, and okay, they enjoyed it, it's fine. Lot of content there. Enormous content.
I'm so glad for this conversation.
I also feel that since we can think of it as a role. We are playing the role of a householder. We are playing the role of being in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to participate in what is happening.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Because you're not, if you think of this world as a stage, you're not the only actor. You are one of the team.
Yeah.
So you are, if you are playing a role, somebody else is also playing a role. So you see it as, okay, this is something that I have to do or I must do because these are my responsibilities. And the fact that you said that you detach yourself from that later, and you have developed this ability to stand away from it and see it as just a scene, is where your Vedanta
Where it makes a
learning,
difference.
is coming into.
But you know what happens, Ritu? After some time, the how do you call it? Though you dance, okay, that's a sign of happiness. You eat well, but you can see that there is a discrepancy in the whole thing.
So at least you're aware. That is, you're learning all these being.
Because ultimately, I think the entire process of these discussions is to come back to myself. I don't have to take others back to themselves.
Yes.
No, not
That's
at all.
not. So if I have the ability to come back to myself
Right.
after doing all this, then I think that is it.
Already fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So one last thing before we close, because we have kind of put the content as something separate from the Atma, that's a step.
A step
Yeah.
forward.
That's just a
And
way
it's
to
a huge
learn.
step forward.
No,
because-
it's only a learning method.
Yes.
Ultimately, we will say the content is nothing but the Atma.
Atma too.
So that is the thing where we will say we are not going to discriminate and take away the content. The content is God. So in Kena Upanishad, we have this statement called Pratibodha Vititam Matham. That means every cognition is to be understood as Brahman.
Came in Gita also, no?
Yes.
The Maya is
Yeah,
also
yeah.
part of me.
Tomorrow we're going to deal with this. I'll be talking about.
Yes, great.
The
So content is not something which we should hate, but
Not
we will
hate.
be able to integrate it
hate.
in the right way.
But
Yeah,
distance
first is
yourself.
know that there is not just content, but there is also the Atma. So this is what we are just kind of taking the water out of the coffee. Then we will put back the decoction and the milk. For now, we are just taking the water out of the coffee. Okay. I don't think we need a meditation because the whole session was a
Beautiful.
meditation.
But it's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
session.